Hey, this is your boy Kenneth Braswell with 5 Flow, 5 minutes of motivation and not much more. Hey, we're coming to you on location at the Blue Ridge Mountain Cabin Resort Retreat in North Georgia. We're here with our church this weekend on a marriage retreat, and this is my baby, my wife, Tracy, and we're going to bring you a special 5 Flow today. Basically, what we're going to talk to you about is what we've learned as a couple here at this marriage retreat. So we're going to talk to you about the 5 things her and I learned here at the retreat. Number one, everyone has a past, and as a spouse, you have to make the decision if you're going to help heal them or if you're going to continue to let them hurt. And if we're responsible spouses, what we want to see is we want to see growth, and we want to see our spouse be made whole, not just being healed, but actually becoming whole and able to let go of their past hurts and pains so that they can become the best spouse that they can be. Number two, I have responsibility for her heart, and I have to safeguard her heart. And so it took me a long time to kind of understand that responsibility, and it is a huge responsibility. But that responsibility also gives you accountability, because if I'm always thinking that I have to guard her heart, then I'm not trying to do things, or I'm not allowing myself to get in situations that's going to hurt her in any way, particularly hurt her heart. She said something to me before we got married, and I asked her the question, when did God let her know that I was going to be her husband, even though she was stalking me, y'all. Y'all know that whole story. I'll tell y'all in another 5 Flow. But anyway, what she said to me really struck me, and it really hit a chord in my heart. And I took on that responsibility when she said this to me. And she said that when she was able to follow God through me, that was when I was ready. And what that meant was she could trust her heart with me because she knew whose hands I had her heart in, which was God. And so it's extremely important in marriages and in relationships that you realize that you basically have accountability over the heart that you love. And number 3, we actually just picked this one up today in our workshop, and that is not to have unrealistic expectations. Do not set unrealistic expectations on yourself, your spouse, or within your marriage. And sometimes what we do is we look at other couples and we assume that they may have it together, or we learn from couples that maybe we grew up around, and we pick up on some of their dysfunctions, and we set expectations on them that can't be achieved either by ourselves or by the other person, or and our marriage winds up falling apart because we started out with a foundation of unrealistic expectations. So we have to be really careful that we set expectations that are easily attainable, and then we can grow and build from there. Number 4, y'all, marriage is intentional. In other words, marriage is a verb. It's about action. And so marriage doesn't just happen. It doesn't just take care of itself. You actually intentionally have to do the things that keep your marriage healthy. You can't just rely that everything is always going to be the same, because people change, seasons change, situations change, our visions change, God changes our path. All kinds of things happen in our life, and not only in our individual lives, but think about our lives with our children and how our children's lives is changes, and our family and our co-workers and our friends. And so to keep your marriage together, you got to be extremely intentional about the care of your marriage. You wouldn't ride your car around, well, some people do, without taking care of it. You're intentional about that. You make sure that you change the oil, you make sure that you got the right air pressure in your tires, you make sure that during the winter you have good windshield wipers and other kinds of things. And so if you take care of your car in that manner, what makes you think that you can't take care, or you don't have to take care of your marriage in that manner?
Hey y'all, he just threw some shade at me. I think he's trying to say something about the way I take care of my car. We'll get him later. Number 5, make sure that you take time to assess and to refuel. And so that was the whole purpose of us attending this retreat this year, was so that we could assess areas that we're doing good in, and we could also assess areas where we might need some improvement. And it also gave us a time to take it down a notch and to reconnect with one another, and ultimately just refuel ourselves and our marriage.
Absolutely. And so, folks, those are 5 things that we learned here at the Discover Life Church Marriage Retreat. Thank you to Eric and Melinda Simmons, who put on an awesome event. These cabins up here in Blue Ridge in North Georgia is incredible. So if you're looking for someplace, that's just a plug for them. But anyway, you've been listening to Fire Flow. Yeah, shout out to Pastor and Pastor Crystal. All right, I got that in. Thanks for reminding me. You've been listening to Fire Flow, 5 minutes of motivation and not much more. I'm your boy, Kenneth Braswell, and this is my babe, Tracy Braswell. And you know how I like to leave you. Always be kind to others as you're kind to yourself, or you might find yourself by yourself, and you don't want that to happen. Always shoot high for your goals, because even if you miss, you'll be amongst the stars. Make sure you check us out on our sister stations, Fly TV on Fatherhood Today, as well as blaze1radio.com. Check us out on our YouTube channels and all across. Just Google us. Google us, Dad's Pad Blog. Just Google us, you'll get us. Anyway, until next time, peace out, be safe, and God bless.